know.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with a lot of people.
Yeah.
What's with the Enneagram channel?
That's the dude who
Why do you share this?
That's the dude who life coached me last night.
On what? Socionics?
No, Enneagram.
I mean,
Enneagram? This guy has a whole Enneagram channel. He life coaches me on Socionics.
no, because I was thinking about Socionics.
Yeah. It's like, what, he life coached you on making pancakes? Oh, wait, sorry, I was thinking about making pancakes.
His channel, he has good content in his channel?
Yeah, you should check him out. He has some interviews with each type. The 5 guy is kind of weird. I mean, I don't really feel surprised by that because 5s are the stereotypically weird type, but this 5 is.
Yeah. I've watched your 5 description when you put it that video.
Or like the deadly sin thing.
Yeah. So I know what's your opinion on the 5s.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was a 9 for a while, and then I realized, yeah.
What are you then?
I'm a 5, yeah.
You're also a 5?
Yeah.
All right. So you're also weird, huh? Are you cut?
How do I feel about that? I'm not weird. You're weird. No. I mean,
everyone is weird. It's just that many people are weird in the same way, which makes them normal, right?
Yeah, I'm just idiosyncratic. That's what I would say. 5s are idiosyncratic. I mean, I have a channel about Myers-Briggs, which is already kind of like a lot of people just don't fucking care about Myers-Briggs, and they also think it's stupid, and also they think it's wrong.
Yeah. It's like they're bashing on something that they don't understand.
Yeah, a lot of types that don't like TI. It's funny because I'm describing the people who don't like Myers-Briggs with Myers-Briggs. I'm like, oh yeah, it's the TI devaluers. It's the FI users who don't like Myers-Briggs. And they'd be like, no, I'm just unique in my own way. I'd be like, no, you're just an FI user.
There's that guy talking to me in Discord about Socionics. That's why I keep.
Oh, who is it?
I don't know. I made a Discord server about Socionics, and there are like 7 people or 6.
Where
6
is it?
including.
I'm in the Talking with Famous People, and I see general video ideas, recent videos, rants, introductions, announcement, the
No, I
memes.
made another one.
Where else? Oh,
I shared the link.
Okay.
And he keeps. If you join now, will you be able to see the messages that are already here?
Let's see. Yeah, I will. I will be able to see it. Last Trivio.
You're Penderson?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's arguing a valid point, I suppose, but the problem is that Myers-Briggs type indicator could be incorrect.
Yeah, like Socionics is more aligned with Jungian stuff.
Yeah, I would say actually that Socionics seems more like something that would be evidently truthful, and Myers-Briggs is something that is trying to describe something that is evidently truthful incorrectly.
Yeah. But the Myers-Briggs are the developers. They were like FE variant, right?
You're like ISFJs or something.
Yeah, and the Socionic are ILEs. So one is based off FE, one in TI. So
Well, the whole sociologics thing is cool because they basically are like the entire universe can be broken down into 8 categories. There's information in the universe regarding the relation between objects, the attraction or repulsion between objects, space, time, potential energy, kinetic energy, conversion from potential to kinetic energy, and then use of kinetic energy. And this supposedly describes every single aspect of the universe, and then also it happens to map to 8 cognitive functions.
yeah, information metabolism thing.
Although, is that
It's just
really? Are those
took-
really the 8 way? Are those only the 8 pieces of information in the universe? That would be the question to ask.
I think that would be the answer. Yeah, because
I mean, can we think of a counter argument? Like, is there another piece of information that does not fall into space, into those 8 cognitive functions?
well, the thing is, the socionics is based off of that information metabolism thing. And in the information metabolism thing, if I recall correctly, it doesn't specify how many are there. So it's just like Augusta, like saw a connection between the Jungian's functions and the information metabolism.
Yeah. What I'm arguing though is there's not just potential energy and kinetic energy, for example. There's also thermal energy. How do you map that to like a function?
SI, let's see.
Like
Probably.
like the properties of objects happen to have more heat than other objects or something.
Well, if you go property of object, that would be SE.
I thought that would be TI.
You mean the relation between two objects, or the object itself?
I guess the property of an object.
SE, if it's a static object, and you just see like the data related to the object, it's SE.
How does that map to kinetic energy then? Because SE is basically just kinetic energy. It's like basically the main definition of it.
What's kinetic energy? Like the one the object has before it starts moving, or?
Kinetic energy is like just like if I hit this screen with this bottle. Well, actually, kinetic energy is just 1/2 mass times velocity or something like that. It's just like a combination of an object's mass with how fast it's moving.
Yeah. Okay. So SE is that you said?
Well, basically SE by definition is just literally kinetic energy by Augusta's definition. And so then you have to somehow apply all these different things in reality, personality wise, to that. So somehow, because I value SE as my creative function, I creatively use force. Like I creatively use mass times velocity.
Or maybe that's what they mean by volitional sensing.
Yeah, I mean, that would be like stuff like actually getting people to do things for me or whatever, or like, hey, you go do that, you go do this thing, you go do that thing. Like that would be like technically like SE, because it's like I'm just getting people to exert mass times velocity or whatever.
You know, functions, the elements dichotomies.
What do you mean?
Dynamic, static, internal, external.
Oh yeah,
Those 3 that makes the thing.
yeah.
Sensing, what is it? It is static, right?
What, sensing?
Yeah, SE. F.
Yeah. Oh yes. SE is like static and NI is like dynamic, right?
Yeah.
I guess it means that everything as it is right now is as it is right now. You're gonna
what I want to say is like there are three main ones that if you use, you can have you can define the eight functions separately or differently. For example, SE would be static and would be the statics of objects and external static of objects,
Okay.
while NE would be the internal static of objects. So NE sees the potential of the object, while SE sees its characteristics. Or
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I guess that would be like I look at this bottle and I look at it. I'm like, this thing can be filled with water.
I see it. I'm like, yeah.
Whereas
Or
yours,
you see
what would you be? Because like I'm looking at this right now.
what you see probably is like how large it is, how heavy it is, that how
Okay.
much
And then
water can it hold.
okay, and then NE would be like, what would NE be like?
You can make a rocket out of it, a dildo, like
A dildo. It would be a fucking.
Any saw a dildo and
yeah.
wondered how heavy a truck could roll over it without it breaking.
Probably a pretty light truck. It'd not take that much.
I mean, it's not an Nalgene. So
It's glass. It's literally glass. So
yeah, so a very small truck. I'm still
a Tonka truck with rocks in it. Well, yeah, the whole thermal. I mean, I do want to see if there's a way to disprove that the eight cognitive functions are the only things that describe the universe. Like, what about weak force and strong? Like, what gravity? I mean, I guess gravity is potential energy.
How could you say that those are the only things that disrupt the universe is the cognitive functions? That ignores all of the laws of physics, it ignores all mass, and it ignores all things that we don't even know about.
No, because in Augusta's work in socionics, she basically like the founder of socionics is basically just like there are eight ways to describe the universe. There's space, time, the relationship, the relation between objects, the attraction repulsion between objects, potential energy, kinetic energy, conversion from potential to kinetic, and then application of kinetic energy. And these also happen to be the cognitive functions like TE, SE, and stuff. That's basically what she said.
Sounds like a TE explanation.
Well, she was an ENTP. That was like a TI explanation. She's like eight things to describe the universe, and like we as humans happen to embody like a certain.
I suppose that the analysis seems TI, but the manner of its declaration seems TE. These are the eight things that do stuff.
Well, I mean, it seems pretty TI from my point of view. She's like trying to describe the entire world in like a logical system.
Right, which I can appreciate. I think that I don't know. It would seem to me, and maybe it's because I've got NE up high and first, but it would seem to me that it would be sort of a violation of consistency to say that I have deduced the final conclusion. Here you go.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about this idea that Augusta, the person who made socionics, basically asserted that the entire universe can be explained by eight functions, like by eight. Actually, they're called information elements. Pretty much, it's like anything in the universe can be described by the eight information elements, which are like cognitive functions in Myers-Briggs. Now I'm just trying to think like if there's any way to disprove that.
To disprove it?
Yeah, because if you disprove that there are only eight pieces of information in the entire universe, then basically all of socionics is invalid.
You seem like you need an ENTP.
Yeah, let's get this going, man. Let's try to brainstorm. What is something about the universe that would violate the?
Well, how do you disprove it? The best way to disprove it is to show something else.
Yeah,
I think it's better to show something else than to rearrange things or show how the current system is inaccurate.
yeah. Like so, like dark. Like, I guess dark matter, for example, is dark. Like how would dark matter? I don't even know what dark matter is, but I know it's a thing.
I'm pretty sure that that physics is going to be an SE thing.
Well, physics is like sort of all of them because SI is space, and SE is kinetic energy, and NE is potential energy. So if you think about it, if you like drop something and it falls, it's being converted from like potential to kinetic, which is somehow.
I see the conceptual correlation, but is that actually? I mean, I guess I don't know socionics well enough from what it actually states. I understand the application as an ENTP would, which is how the fuck I understand it.
Yeah, like basically ENTPs have NE as their dominant function, which means that they are most attuned to information pertaining to potential energy. So they see the potential of ideas and just obsess over these ideas until they've exhausted the potential of the ideas, and then they move on. That's like the theory. Whereas like ESTPs, they're most attuned to kinetic energy, so they're most attuned to getting things actually done in the real world. You know, like asserting power over people and things and stuff.
That doesn't seem to correlate with the ESTPs I know. I mean, it does. It logically holds when you say that, but
Yeah, well, that could be Myers-Briggs socionics discrepancy because in socionics, ESTPs are pretty power driven.
Well, I mean, just the SE function. I mean, the function stack, however you pull it, makes sense. In my experience, Well, in my experience, it's from my experience, and I'm a pretty dominant person. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, that could probably be true.
I mean, I personally think you're an ESTP in socionics. You could be an ENTP in Myers-Briggs, but I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, that could be wrong, but
I'm open to it. Hey, where'd my actual results get out here? This is my actual Briggs-Myers results. So intuition is the weakest of my preferences.
yeah. Yeah, you could be ENTP in Myers-Briggs and ESTP in socionics. Like, basically, I'll give you like a description of the SLE in socionics. Willful, independently minded individuals who are able to recognize levels of willpower and motivation in others. They are adept at organizing others effectively towards any given objective and have no problem getting the job done. They have no reservations about taking the initiative when they perceive that others cannot or will not do so.
That's SLE?
Yeah, that's SLE.
Read ILE.
Yeah, let me throw an ILE.
Because I typically get ILE.
You get ILE? Okay.
Which doesn't mean much to me.
Yeah.
SLE sounded accurate too.
Yeah, and you could find them both accurate, you know. The ILE is typically a big picture kind of person and tends to speak in generalizations about both people and things, omitting any details he deems mundane or uninteresting. He's acutely aware of what interests and what bores him. This leads him to always search for novelty and surprising things. At any given moment, the ILE usually has a number of projects and or skills that he is working on developing and stays with these interests as long as he feels they have potential for growth. Yeah, I mean, those are just like one. I'll link you to the website.
Well, I mean, so from bullet point thing, they absolutely both are.
Yeah, I was gonna say they both.
In here, I'd say that I take a much more SLE role just because that's what needs to be filled,
Yeah.
which is an SLE thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can read them over for yourself. I mean,
I guess my observation is that they seem not mutually exclusive. It doesn't seem like you are one or the other. It seems like you could be both. Just from that, I understand that that's a shallow. That's not a deep enough understanding to say that. But are socionics types such that they don't mutually exclude the other?
well, socionics types are you have one, but you're bringing up a good point, which is that you, in particular, I would assume relate to both the willful, independently minded part and also the typically big picture kind of person part. You know, like you relate to both.
Right.
So that's sort of when you have to use your own personal discretion and then be like, well, like you read more descriptions and like you relate to which one's more. Like for me, I'm sure I can relate to some aspects of like the INTP in socionics, but at the end of the day, I relate to the ISTP the most, you know.
Yeah. It seems a little bit less deductive in its definition or something. Like it seems like, are you a white person or are you a man? Well, yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, I think I think that's a good point. I think Myers-Briggs approaches socionics differently than Myers-Briggs basically describes people and then describes the theory, whereas socionics start out with a theory and then generated descriptions of people based on the theory, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So then that gets kind of,
So then what's missing is where they converge onto each other.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think that both approaches are equally viable from just a form over function. I think that both ways, approaching it from people to concept or concept to person, people, neither one's better than the other. So if you do them both simultaneously, you should be able to collapse them then into a singular whole.
Socionics, I think, would argue that socionics is correct based on pure theory. Like
So really, socionics argues that socionics is right.
Well, like, let me put it this way.
I bet MBTI does too, about themselves.
I cut out for a second, I think.
I bet MBTI would argue the same thing about themselves.
Well, no, Myers-Briggs does it differently. Like Myers-Briggs is like, let's figure out what gravity actually is by measuring us dropping a ball 1 billion times and then recording the measurement, and then, oh, look, it's 9.8 something meters per second. Whereas socionics is like, theoretically, it should be 9.8 meters per second just based on theory.
Yeah. MBTI is diagnostic.
MBTI is very TE. MBTI is very like, we have analyzed thousands of people and
it diagnoses specifics.
Yeah. Whereas
here's your lab results.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's your lab results based on us analyzing human beings. That's why, like, pure Myers-Briggs doesn't even have your third function either FE or FI. They just have it as feeling, because they have not actually concluded that one is more prevalent than the other, which is really just kind of.
Well, okay, hold on, but that could explain the S's. That's a simpler solution to why Eric and I see different S's than.
Oh no, you guys seek different F's. Or I mean, like for your type, your feeling is either of them, but your S is like SI, I think.
Do you think that I'm SI seeking and Eric is SI seeking, and I'm say that again?
I mean, based on Myers-Briggs, like the actual Myers-Briggs type indicator, the one that like is actually legit, um, they've decided that they refuse to say whether or not you prefer FE or FI. And SI is something you prefer because it's the opposite. Like here, actually, let me get like my book.
Like a good ISTP. Dude, your pajamas are so pajama-y. Well, yours too. Oh, your pajamas are so pajama-y.
Thank you. God, I got INTP on my most recent INTP. But this
Wow, you're more thinking than I am. You're 100. Is that 30 out of 30?
it's yeah, but you know what? It's bullshit because I refuse to accept this as being reflective of my personality because when I took this test, I wanted to be perceived as a thinker, you know.
See, and I think that mine is accurate because when I took the test, I didn't know what I was doing. I just answered these questions. All right, fine.
Yeah, like you. That's good.
I had no idea what the outcome would be. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased with how sterile mine was.
I don't like taking these types of tests, anyways. To be honest.
I would imagine that ISTPs wouldn't like taking them once they understood the system well enough, because then it gives a subjective or unspecified.
Well, I don't like self-assessments in general because usually what ends up happening is like people are like, "Oh, I want to retake this test," and then they know what each question relates to, and then they want to be perceived as certain types, and they answer based on they want to be like. It's like, "Oh, I want to be like an INTP, so I'm going to answer all the perceiving questions."
Well, it would make sense for if you're a T, we're both heavy T users. That if we went back and understood, that the questions we were being asked and in what context, that we would lean even heavier towards getting the results of the things that we already initially valued.
Yeah.
I think if I took it again, I would probably get a higher intuition score because I obviously already lean towards intuition.
Yeah.
And now that I know it's doing that as something, I'm going to crank the wheel harder.
Yeah. That's why I think I got like 100% thinking because I knew all the thinking questions and I identified myself as a thinker. So I was like, feeling things, I don't relate to those. But now if I were to take it, my thinking would probably be a lot more in the moderate level because I realized that, hey, I actually prefer to be more compassionate and empathetic than I gave myself credit for at the time. You know, like asking a question like, are you logical or empathetic? I don't like answering that. It's like, well, I will be logical when it needs to be seen that I'm logical, or I will be empathetic when I should be empathetic.
But all else equal, if there is no context,
Yeah,
well, yeah, I'm logical.
yeah. I guess I prefer to be logical, I suppose.
I'm not J or an ENFJ.
What'd you say?
I know for sure I am not. I am more of an INTP or an ISTP than I am a J or an ENFJ.
Yeah.
What's happening to my?
Hmm?
What should I do today?
I don't think I'm on it.
You're emailing.
I
I
only
wasn't saying that you need to stop. I'm saying that two things. One, you're bad for which is the
on
theory,
data.
and the other thing is, fuck. And it's just you.
Yeah, like okay, I pull up a test right now. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. And then like you can do a lot agree, medium agree, slightly agree, or like, disagree.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard question to answer in my opinion. I find it difficult to introduce myself to other people. Because
It's contextual.
I can think of times where I unabashedly introduced myself to someone without any hesitations, and there could be times where I was so scared to introduce myself to someone because the social situation called for me being reserved or something, So this is asking me if I'm basically an introvert or an extrovert, and I have a hard time answering that because I'm like, well, what about the social context,
I would say that if you have a YouTube channel as a form of self improvement on extroversion, you can probably objectively say that you strongly agree with the introverted side.
Yeah, but I don't strongly agree that I find it difficult to introduce myself to other people, for example.
Right. Yeah. I think we're pointing out the same thing. I just didn't do it right.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am an introvert, like in the theoretical sense, but like questions like these don't feel like they help me at all,
I agree. RTI does not like that.
Yeah.
Who is S?
It's me.
Where are you at?
No.
Hmm?
Sue.
Hello.
Oh,
Guess what? Courtney tried coming in like all night.
What happened?
I kicked her out.
Wait, why did you kick her out? I thought she was being all nice and stuff recently.
No, she's not.
oh.
Oh, what happened?
She kept lying.
Let's go back.
What'd she lie about?
Everything. But I'm sure
Every
Kate
literally
knows.
fucking.
She just smacked down.
I mean, I'm still a little bit blown back that after all this stuff, all I need to do is show Katie text messages. And I'm supposed to be the scary one.
Wait, actually, I didn't hear what you said because your internet kind of cut out, but she lied about something?
Hold
Like,
on, I'm going to refresh.
yeah, your internet kind of sucks.
I'm going to refresh.
Mm.
Is this you? Are you in there still?
Oh,
It is you. And you know that. No, I'm telling you something else, but similar, or but related. You know that for a while last night, you had no idea that you were in the room with your camera on.
man.
I don't know. You weren't doing anything, but kind of wandering around the bedroom. But like
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah. I mean, yeah. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just kind of clicked through it. But well, you understand my point.
Did you guys watch the Talking to Famous People response to Eric Thor's How to Be a Censor?
Yeah, I saw it.
What was it about? I'm curious because I don't even know what Eric Thor was saying or what Talking to Famous People said.
Oh, it was a lot about how he was managing the topic, where he kind of tried to reel it back in with some FE after he portrayed something sort of negative.
Wait, what happened?
I don't remember. I saw it, but it didn't really stick.
So Eric Thor basically asserted that you can improve your sensing.
No, well, I don't think so. More telling about it, I guess.
Oh, okay. I just like when Eric starts drama. I was wondering if it was a dramatic occurrence.
Because those are not
Well, like, yeah. I mean, she's talking about the menthol. So that it's kind of like the toothpaste taste, the toothpaste bite, Schwartz spicy. That's what helps the cough. So they have to be like that. That's good for your cough. You need to just get used to it. You're too old to be scared of toothpaste and cough drops.
I'm not scared of them.
Okay, well, whatever it is, you're too old to not have adult toothpaste or cough drops if you need it.
Oh, there it is. All right, thanks, bro. Thank you. So you guys doing anything cool?
Just hanging out. I might head out soon to make some bacon. That'll probably be the coolest part of my day. But
Bacon's good.
yeah, and I have a bacon press too, so it's like legit.
Fresh, you guys.
What'd you say? Your internet's really shitty, and then you cut out.
I impulse buy books that I will never read.
Dude, that's good, man. That's a good impulse buy because you might read it sometime.
Yeah.
What'd you buy?
Blam.
The Gulag.
Cool. Acapella.
That's like a badass book right there.
Yeah, it does sound cool as shit. Yeah. It's basically it's a testimony of this dude in Russia who was under, basically when Lenin and Stalin were all together, and they basically started the whole Marxist movement of, hey, all you farmers that have all the stuff, we don't like you because you have all the wealth. And then they kicked all the farmers out to live in Siberia and basically let them starve to death. So
basically humans.
Yeah, basically it just says, yeah, it's just the whole plot. It's basically the one book that like shattered Marxism and like why Marxism is bad, because it's like we can all be living our means, be killing machines at the same time. It's like, no, we can't. We can't be machines and live in peace. Wealth is good within reason.
I'm all for capitalism, man. I'm all for capitalism. That's why I'm gonna be rich off my YouTube channel, making $10 a month.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, you about to make 20. You about to make $20 a month, man. You got me now.
Shit, dude, shit.
You know what they say, man? They say like the first customer is the hardest.
Yeah, that's why I made the Patreon, because I'm like, you know what? I just want people to give me at least $1 a month, and if they can give me $1 a month, then, you know, they're supporting me. You know, because
Yeah.
people like to ask me, hey, can you do this video? Can you do this type comparison? Which I'm all for. I'm like, sweet, they care about me and they want me to make a video for them. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I have a Patreon, and if you want to give me $1, there's a good chance I will make your video for you. And and then you cut out, yeah. Hey, Elsie.
Well, basement. Basement. Hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you think I'm an LII?
Found it.
Do I think you're an LII?
Or
Do you think you're an LII?
sometimes I think I'm not.
What do you think you are instead?
I don't know. Nothing checks up, to be honest.
You just have doubts about your type.
Yeah, once in a while.
I don't see what else you could be.
How about say LIE?
You're FI seeking.
Yeah.
What, are you changing your type
I can
now?
see that.
No, I'm not changing. What? What did you say?
I mean, I don't know you enough to know what you like. You have to ask yourself what you want, FI or FE. You know.
Yeah, I know. But from what you've seen, like, or the interaction we had in GTM here.
I think I noticed observations about you that could be any thinking type in general. I mean, when I talk to you in this specific context, which does not describe you as a person, because I don't think this specific context really describes me as a person that well. But when I talk to you in this specific context, you're quiet, reserved, formal, want to ask me a lot of questions, really interested in the theory of socionics, a lot of the nuances sometimes about socionics, have a good time debating arguments logically in a formal manner. Your profile picture, I'm not really sure what that is, but it exists, and your name is Casual LII, Taylor of INTPs, which I'm not sure what that is for, but I assume it's a joke because it's kind of funny. Taylor of INTPs.
Yeah, Eric said that about me, and
What would you say?
Eric was making a file where he was like saying this person is this or this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and he said Casual. He put me in Fightsy, I think, and he said that he's like the Taylor of ITPs.
Well, take those observations as you will.
All right, thanks.
I mean, Alpha versus Gamma Quadrant, that's a big one.
Yeah, exactly.
And it probably sounds like you don't know you don't know a clear understanding of your own values. That's what it sounds like. Like you probably know a lot about the theory, but then you're like, well, who am I in that context?
Yeah, I think it's NI demonstrative though. Just the element in the background making me check again and again or something.
Yeah. Or it could be type 5, just I must overthink everything in existence. Well, I'm going to head out and make some bacon maybe. Or just not. Just go to sleep. I don't know. See you guys.
All right. See ya. Oh, so you decided you are what, FISE? Oh, you went to that? Yeah, I know it. FISE, alright. So like Katie and Zack Attack? Nice fingers, man. Oh, she. I'll be back in a second. Do something real quick. You just you can write what you want. I'll read it when I be back.